minutes, and we've had the opportunity to read those. So do I have a motion for approval
So moved.
and second?
Second.
And is there any questions or comments or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. And then we go to approval of vouchers next. And we've also had a chance to look at those. Do I have here a motion for approval
So moved.
and second?
Second.
And any questions or comments about anything listed? Hearing none, all in favor say yes for
Yes.
approval.
Yes.
And that again is unanimously approved. And then we go to approval of monthly reports. Do I hear a motion to discuss these?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
And Mr. Chairman, would you share, Mr. General Manager, would you share with us about the monthly reports?
Yes, we're in the black in both departments, and I'm thrilled. So I'm going to turn it over to our Director of Accounting and Finance, and he can add to the good news about all of it.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. Just a quick electric update. February 2024, we experienced a marginally higher average temperature of 1.8 degrees higher than February 2023. Although the average temperature for February was slightly higher than last year, we had an increase in the number of days where the low temperature dipped below freezing. As a result, sales for the month of February 2024 surpassed those of the previous year, resulting in a slightly higher margin of $135,263. And our year-to-date margin for fiscal year 2024 is also 28% higher year-to-date than the same time last year. And water and sewer continue to generate a positive net margin that exceeded forecast by approximately $210,000.
Okay, any questions anybody has about that or comments? Okay, looks good. Okay, all in favor of approval of the monthly reports say yes.
Yes.
And again, that is approved unanimously. And as we move to project status report, that does not need an approval, but if you'll share with us, Mr. Fahey, about those.
I will, and Todd has prepared some stuff for me, and I'm going to defer to him because he is intimately involved in all of this. But you can talk about the construction and how we're going to move some of these poles out of the fields because they're wet. So if you don't care to share with the board what you're doing and why.
Yes, sir. Yes, as you can see, we got 3 projects on the status report here, which Cheryl working on, and Cheryl listening and tracking here actively. The first of those is Smith Road job, which we have been working since last October, as you see. Construction is now fully complete as we expected on that. We do still have some old poles that are in the bottom lands there along Smith Road, next to the creek, that we're going to have to wait for a dry time to be able to get in there. So the lines all moved over and everything, but sometime probably in the summer, we're going to have to go back in there and tear the old stuff out. But again, that is why we relocate this line to the road, so that if something happens during a time like this, we can get out there and maintain it. So that one's complete. Cross Street in Hendrickson over here in there, we're working on it now diligently. All's going on well there on that project, except we hit several rock holes over in that area, which was kind of somewhat we were expecting as well. But going well, we still should be finished with that project by the end of June. And the last one there on the list, which was approved last month, we are just now kind of finishing the pre-construction, doing a little right-of-way clearing up there, and hope to actually start construction on that here in the next week or two on that. So, any questions on any of that?
Hey, Todd.
Yes, sir.
The difference in the accrued cost on that first project and the estimated cost, do you expect that gap to close?
We expect that to close out, because what happens now we've finished constructing all the material and stuff, it still kind of lags behind that, and some of the payroll as well will lag behind that as well. It just takes the time for all that to come in and hit the books.
And you've got another month too, since it was toward the end of February when that was run.
Correct, right.
Okay.
So there will still be March labor in that, and as well as all the material to come in.
We call it post-season, payroll, overhead, stores, and transportation, and there's always a lag from the time when that is applied till the time it is recorded.
Sure.
And that'll always move up pretty quickly, and generally you'll see it'll match up pretty well with, I think, with what the estimated cost is.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, thank you for that information. And we go to purchase orders. Do I hear a motion to discuss the purchase orders?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Okay, and will you share with us about the purchase orders,
Thank you,
please,
Madam
Mr.
Chair.
Fay?
You see with this wire quotation, we've got a delivery time that pushes out into mid-December, which is about 8 months. And normally, traditionally, we were looking at a 2 to 3 month lead time. So we've had to expand our horizon on assuring that we have enough hardware to do some of these jobs that we're budgeting, and we're in the process of budgeting for next year. So in order to make sure that we've got the equipment and the hardware that we need, we're pushing out a little bit earlier to make sure that that's going to come in, and we're looking at a mid-December delivery date on that. So we're recommending that the board approve purchase order in the amount of $115,650 to Border States Electric.
Okay, anybody have any questions about that?
You said mid-December delivery?
Mid-December.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of approval of the purchase order for $115,650, say yes.
Yes.
And that passes unanimously also. And then we go to the next work order, Mr. Fay.
We're excited about this work order because it represents 5 years of working with the Hollingsworth Corporation for the subdivision up towards the interstate. And now that we've got a fully executed contract agreement and the payment has been made as appropriate, this work order represents electric service to the first 36 lots, and will also provide the necessary infrastructure to support future additional extensions to make service available to the subdivision that is currently proposed in the entirety of 127 lots. And as shown, the developer paid the deposit of $259,380, but $127,188 of that is eligible for rebates once he fulfills the obligation of 50% of the homes being built. So we will recommend that the board approve this work order for the Village at Hines Creek subdivision, which is phase 1 of that, with the total cost after rebates of $127,188.
Okay, do I have a motion for approval
So moved.
and second?
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments about this work order?
Just one high-level question, because I think this is the first work order I've seen on a subdivision since I've been on the board. So, is this typical for the developer to sort of front the money and then there to be a rebate
Yes,
process?
Mr. Hollingsworth, if you remember last month, suggested that the board consider, and we talked a little bit about it. I'm sorry, I'm going to get it because I like to have it. He talked about, whether or not it made sense for a utility, especially for infrastructure that it takes to reach a subdivision, not say sewer lines or water lines that are adjacent to the property. Water and sewer, you have to come to us wherever that is. So that's a big thing. Now, electric, because of what they want, there is a charge associated with that, and that's what this represents. The legislature has been wrestling with this very issue. I mean, this past week, I think the final vote in the House was today, and what they wanted was clarification. They called it nexus proportionality is the word they use, where you tie in the relationship between what the utility has to do and the land, the real property associated with the developer. And is there a benefit to the property owner? And obviously, a property that is developed and has infrastructure available to it is worth more than property that isn't. I go all the way back to when I bought my property there in Westwood. You know, if I would have gone out into the county, I could have got a lot more land and paid less money. But water, sewer, and electric were right there. So what the legislator did, what they did in the bill that passed, really mirrors what we do right now. If the developer has a need and we can fulfill that need with an extension in order to provide the service just for what he needs, then he has to pay all of that. Now, if there is a 6-inch water line, because that's what it takes for fire protection, and we see that growth is in an area, and we want to upgrade that 6-inch, since the trench will be open and everything there, we want to upgrade it to an 8-inch, you know, or you get Jones down there, I think a 10-inch would be better, you know, whatever that is, that enhancement or improvement to that facility, then that needs to be offset with the developer. We can require that going in, but the nexus proportionality of that says that the benefit, since the utility benefits from that, we cannot leverage his requirement for service with the stipulation that he has to improve our services in order to get there. So, but we do that anyway, you know. So there's nothing in the new legislation that is in conflict with the standard operating procedure that we do now. But it is in conflict with some other utilities, which is why I think it was appropriate that the legislature looked to this, because, for example, Nashville required that the developer put in sidewalks. However, if they didn't want sidewalks in their subdivision, then the developer would have to pay whatever it would cost to put the sidewalks in. They would have to pay the city so they could build sidewalks somewhere else. So that's leveraging, you see, the developer in order for them to improve their property in a way that's not fair. And believe it or not, that goes all the way back to the Fifth Amendment on this taking clause in the Fifth Amendment. The government can't go in and take from you as you try to enrich your development. And we don't do that. We've never done that. But we don't want our ratepayers to subsidize and enrich the property at the cost of the rates. You say, it's like a developer saying to the city, "I don't want to put roads in." You say, and the city, because the city won't approve unless you've got the roads and they meet the specs. They won't take them over. And so that's an option if you wanted to encourage development. But our only source of income is through rates. So we can't leverage our ratepayers, which enhancing property for a developer to do. All of that goes into the equity and fairness and the balance. And I'm glad that the way it was originally written, I think a representative who was a developer originally wrote that a little bit differently. And by the time it got through committees, all that got corrected to clearly proportionately put the responsibility on both the utility and the developer in a fair way. If your property needs to be enhanced with infrastructure, then you're going to have to pay for that. Now, if they need a 6-inch line, and the 6-inch line, by having either the water or the wastewater, that's really specifically what they're addressing, lowers our ability and capacity. In other words, now we fall below what we need to. The capacity is taken up. Then that would require the developer to enhance pumps or whatever it was in order that the community of ratepayers do not suffer because of the addition of his subdivision. So if we had to increase the capacity of the pump in order to accommodate him, then we're not enriched by that because the additional capacity is to serve him. And that's really the rub with many, although it's not the case with this instance right here.
So in that scenario, I'm just making sure I'm tracking. The developer would pay the total cost of that pump, not the cost minus depreciation.
No, that's right. That depreciation is not a factor because you're requiring us to do something, and that's an arbitrary number. But the developer always has the right. So say, well, I think you're just ripping me off. Then they've got a board, a Tennessee Utility District Board. What's it called, Craig?
TAUD, the TAUD board, and which governs the regulators as far as the board for
So-
South State Tennessee.
So the developer could appeal, or say the shared cost of this addition is something that individual's not satisfied with. They can appeal that to this board, and then the utility and the developer will lay down, here's the facts that we see and why we see that, and then that board will have the authority to adjust the contractual agreements, to get it fair. Which again, I'm fine with because that's all we're ever looking at is fair. But I know they use that word depreciation a lot, and we've got water lines, that have been in since before I was born, so but we don't depreciate it on a lifetime, so when you look at a depreciated cost for a pole, what are we looking at, Dusty, 30 years or 20 some years on a pole, depending on what it is.
I was thinking 40, but I'd have to double check that.
Yeah, so whatever that number is, we've got poles that are longer than that, and then if you want to change that pole out because you want it somewhere else, then it's going to be the new pole in the new place.
So you're saying you've been around lowering ditches? Is that what you're saying? Or?
I have been around. That's right. When I still though I'm able to retain all my hair, but I'm not just taking a shot.
There's a
here.
shot. There you go.
Okay, now let's move on.
Not that you, wasn't it you, Mr. Cole?
Okay, any other?
That's two votes, Craig.
Any other comments on the Hines Creek subdivision that we're discussing? Okay, hearing none, I think we got a first and second. Did we talk?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all in favor say yes,
Yes.
and that is approved unanimously. So now then, other business, Mr. Page.
I do have other business, exciting other business. We are thrilled. I am definitely thrilled to announce what I call a landmark achievement for Cub. This week, we were formally recognized by the American Public Power Association, the national organization, with the prestigious diamond status of the 2023 Safety Award for Excellence. They sent us a real pretty plaque right here. And this accolade represents the pinnacle of safety recognition and is awarded to utilities that demonstrate an exceptional commitment to safe operations. Cub stands among the elite group of 18 utilities nationwide and one of only 2 in the Valley to be honored with this distinction. This marks an historic moment for us, as it is the first instance of Cub attaining this highest echelon of safety excellence. This award is especially meaningful as it reflects our unwavering dedication to the well-being of our employees. It's a testament to the rigorous safety protocols and diligent efforts of our team that ensure every employee returns home safe to their loved ones. So, all good stuff
Well, that's
attaining
great.
this.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we're really honored for that. Arbor Day, Norris, our good friends. We have great friends in Norris, and we always help participate. They're the first tree line city in the state, and we participate in their Arbor Day celebration. So the Norris community gathered together on March the 28th to celebrate this tradition of Arbor Day. And this year's event was made special with the involvement of local students and the expertise of CUB's right-of-way coordinator, and ISA certified arborist Tim West. With Tim, Cub planted a beautiful redbud tree along the East Norris Greenway. Our Arbor Day activities and participation reflect our ongoing commitment to safety, reliability, and environmental stewardship. By nurturing the community forest, we not only enhance the aesthetic appeal of our neighborhoods, but also ensure the integrity of our electrical services. It's initiatives like this that have earned us the honor of being recognized as a tree line utility for over 2 decades. And we've got a whole bunch of props here. You know, this is over 20 years worth, and we were one of the first tree line utilities in the state. And of course, this goes to Wall Street Journal or something. We're published in New York somewhere. I don't know.
Congratulations again, that's great.
So now the Department of Energy, yesterday, at the request of Tim Daniels, who works for the lab at ORNL, Todd and I met with Mr. Daniels and with Mr. David Wells. And Mr. Wells is the program leader for the Center of Alternate Synchronization and Timing, or CAST. They've got acronyms for everything, by the way. Mr. Wells' office is located at the DOE headquarters in Washington, D.C., and he flew in to talk to us. He is an innovator behind the DarkNet initiative aimed at reducing GPS signals, the vulnerability produced by them through a terrestrial-based wide area signal system. The system offers alternative precision timing services vital to the nation's power grid. Moreover, Mr. Wells is a manager of DOE's Office of Electricity, exploring advanced electric grid technologies that bolster distributed energy resources, which got him really interested in us, and the geospatial intelligence, understanding where you are and where everything is. You can't open and close anything out there unless you're aware of everything going on, and that's what that geospatial intelligence is. These advancements are critical for enhancing situational awareness along electric distribution lines. Our 30-minute scheduled appointment extended to an engaging 2-hour discussion. It was over 2 hours, I think. 2-hour discussion featuring a comprehensive 51-slide PowerPoint presentation, which I know nobody on this board is surprised. So, given that, he was squared away. I really thought that he asked pointed and questions, took notes, and also helped us. The presentation showcased CUB's pioneering technology and its significant impact on our ratepayers and the broader TVA Valley. Mr. Wells was highly impressed and requested the copy of that presentation because he wanted to share our success story with his team, he said. And his goal is to demonstrate, spotlight, and they want to publish CUB's success in contributing to grid stability, our DVR financial impact on our ratepayers, and the unparalleled reliability of our FLISR system to other utilities nationwide. So now we're going to, according to him, and I love that he referred to his team. I'm going to put this to the team to write this thing up, so they'll be getting in touch with us too, published nationwide, specifically Spotlight Cub, because it is a great story. So he also highlighted how Cub's technology capabilities could have removed the necessity of, or at the minimum, mitigated the effects of the rolling blackouts imposed by TVA during the Winter Storm Elliott Christmas of 2022. In conclusion, Mr. Wells, in his follow-up email, which we got last night, mentioned that the DOE's Office of Electricity has an Electric Advisory Council, EAC. He included a nomination form and expressed his belief that we would be an excellent addition to this council, stating, I think you would be a great fit. And he wanted to know if we considered that, to let him know, because I think he was talked about putting a fix in, which we haven't thought about much. You haven't even thought about that.
I have not.
So I haven't either. So finally, that's what I've got on on this. I mean, we're very excited about it. He indicated to us that, you know, we're going to bring some of that team back. Again, we got a great story, and the way we laid it out, the perfection of this PowerPoint presentation, laid it out in such a way that it really, anybody with an IQ of 30 could figure out, wow, it's making a great contribution, saving millions of dollars, protecting the TVA grid, and providing, you know, Flizzr service. He loved all of that. 15 seconds, and we had this many back on. He loved all of that. So that's what I have on that. And then finally, next month we're going to present, because we remember what you said last year, the proposed budget for 2024-25. We'll present that to you next month for review and discussion, and we'll wait until the following month, June, to ask for approval for that budget. And that'll give you an opportunity to digest that, and we'll be moving a lot of balls because that pushes up a month early, and we always try to wait till the last second to get the best data in order to project what we're trying to do. So that is all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Congratulations on all the things that national.
It took me an hour just to write all that stuff
That's
up.
great. That is so.
So, that's how
wonderful.
limited I am.
Congratulations to
Thank
you and our whole team. Mr. McNally, you have anything? Questions or add?
I do not.
Mr. Clapp?
No, that's just great work
Mm-hmm.
on this, particularly the DOE stuff. That's pretty cool.
Mr. Combs?
No,
And Mr. McGrath?
Good.
Well, congratulations on behalf of the board.
Thank you.
Please convey that to everyone. That's excellent. Okay, since you mentioned the budget, is there anyone who knows now that's not going to be here next month or the next 2 months? That's kind of.
I won't be here next month, and I was going to ask if we ever reschedule these, or if I need to just prepare outside of it, especially since you said the budget.
Well, hold that thought. Are you going to be here for the next 2 months as far as you know?
Yeah, the only thing I can't, I've got the first week of June, I'm on vacation,
Yeah.
so that's the only thing I couldn't. But yeah, I'm here. as
Okay,
far
we're
as that.
talking May and June.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how about May and June for you, Steve?
Right now, on the scheduled dates, I'm here.
Okay, Jim, what?
Not June. Will May.
Okay, then,
I'm the opposite.
okay. We want to be sure to have a quorum, but we sure do on a budget vote need to be here. So can we think through that, Greg, and see what we want to do about meeting schedules and everything?
Absolutely.
Um,
What you're really saying is we need to change both May and June.
So, let me just ask an extra question. So, are you, from your perspective, we vote on June, is that as long as you got your prep, or do you want to be here to?
I would like to participate in the discussion
Okay.
with it being the first
That
year,
answers,
but,
no,
but I don't have to.
Jimmy, what about you? Do you want to be here for the vote, or what's your,
It's probably a good idea,
Okay.
yes, I mean.
particularly since you're city council person?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so we need to. Look at dates.
I don't have to be here.
That'd be fine.
Well,
If it's a
Todd,
range meeting.
Todd is gone. You're gone in May, Todd, I believe.
Yeah, so that week after the normal.
Right,
week.
which is what we would normally do.
Could we do
Are
it the
you
week
gone the
before?
whole week in May?
That week I am. The week of the
Cause I'm
6th.
gone the whole week in June.
Yeah, the week of the 6th, I'm out of town, unfortunately, but maybe that week before,
Can you,
Thursday
I
before.
guess the function of the date of prep, does that moving a week up mess you up, or do you need to go a
We
week
can't
after?
do it.
Can you
We
go a
can't
week
go,
behind?
yeah, we can go after, we
Can't
just
go
can't
back,
go
can't come up
before.
another week.
We don't have the statistical data
Right.
is the problem.
Because
We
you
don't
move
have
where
the
you're-
statements.
Cause you're
Right.
definitely closing, you're losing a month of closure right there too. So we go the week after.
Okay, that would be May the 16th. Any conflicts that anybody knows about at this point?
We'll lose Todd. We'll lose Todd on the 16th, May the 16th.
Okay, what if we go to like the 14th, a Tuesday night?
You got the whole week.
I'm out on vacation that week.
Oh, okay.
He's in Utah. I
Oh,
think we can veto that.
Utah is really pretty. What about the 23rd? We're going.
I've got 2 high school graduations the last 2 weeks of May out of town, so I'm not gonna be here.
All right.
Okay. I'm not
If
sure.
you wanna, Greg, with me, can you send a poll out maybe via the board? And kind of poll us to see what week might work with everybody's schedule, and that way You wanna do it here? I will tell you, I mean, we've got something going on at work that I don't know how it's gonna fall out, and so there may be a chance that I could be out, but I don't know. Right now, I could plan around it, to be honest.
It's always difficult in, you know, because of vacations and everything
Sure.
else, to get everybody going.
I don't, I mean, and back to the June deal, I've not been here a couple of times before, previous boards and city council, I always try to be, but, I mean, I think for me in June, just do the best you can. I mean, I'm going to US Open in Pinehurst, so I'll be gone all week, and I've had tickets for a year.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's better than Utah.
Yeah, I'll trade you.
Yeah. I'm going
Okay.
to southern Mississippi.
well,
Oh,
there's the
I'll
third.
go with you.
He came in third, yeah.
Of all the three, I'll go with you.
What
Okay.
we can do, Stephen, I can get you all of that, and then I'm gonna
yeah.
write up several pages of explanation. So you'll have the budget and you'll have the reasoning behind the budget, and then when you get back, you're welcome to come in, and we can go over this, especially if you have any questions individually.
And if you'd like that 50-page PowerPoint on the budget,
Yeah.
Greg's got one teed up waiting.
I'm telling you, no.
Okay, if we can do that,
Yeah,
then,
that's fine.
then the rest of us will be here on May the 9th for the meeting. And then when we get to June 13th, Jim, you're okay if we,
I mean, yeah,
Go on.
again, you just have to do what you
You'll have questions and
You have to
answers.
do what you have to do.
Right.
okay. Okay, so if by chance something happens to anybody else, be sure to let us know because we know we'll have one out at each of the other meetings and two
I-
might make a difference.
Yeah, I hope to know probably next week or two what's going on
Okay.
more about schedule May
Okay.
too.
Okay, is that okay, Greg?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, meeting adjourned.
30 minutes.